Welcome to the Heart of a Viking. This channel offers elementary art lessons taught by Mrs. Minto from the Cape Henlopen School District in Delaware. I look forward to virtually creating with you. There are new lessons posted weekly. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss a single one. So go grab your art supplies and your thinking caps and let's begin. Hey artists, and welcome back! Today we're going to be talking about radial symmetry. We've talked about symmetry before. Symmetry means that you divide something in half and it's the same on both sides. Well, some objects and some things have radial symmetry. That's a little bit different. Radial symmetry occurs when a line is drawn through a shape or an object at any angle, and the two sides of that line remain identical. The objects that you're looking at here in this picture, you can do the same thing with them. Draw a line at any angle and you'll see that it's the same on both sides. Now we have some pictures of some beautiful stained glass windows. These have beautiful symmetry. You can divide them at any angle, and not only do they have symmetry, but they also have radial symmetry. Now, creating radial symmetry can be a little tricky. So you and I today are going to take that as an opportunity for creativity and adventure, and you and I are going to be creating a piece of radial symmetrical origami folded artwork. I know, a lot of stuff going on, but I'm super excited. You're going to learn lots of really cool things, and we're going to get started right now. All right, so you need to gather some little square pieces of colorful paper. So I have some paper that's already colored. If you don't have this at home, color a sheet of paper a color and then cut it into small squares. The size of the squares doesn't really matter as long as it's a perfect square. Mine are 3 inches across every side. So make sure that you measure out accurately before you begin because you want to have perfect squares too. Okay, so we're going to start with a hat fold. That's the directions going right across the very top row of my little directions here beside me. And I'm going to start by folding the bottom to the top, just like this. I'm taking extra time to line that up so it's nice and straight, and I'm going to really squish down that edge that I just folded. Perfect. Now I want that folded edge at the top while I fold over and to the center the left side, just like that. So I folded that whole left side down and lined it up with the bottom edge of my paper. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the right. Holding it upside down helps me control the paper a little bit better, but I'm making sure that I'm folding the left side in and not overlapping, just like that. And then really squish down those edges. So now my square looks like a triangle. Super. And actually, that's the end of the hat fold. Super duper easy. Now, here's the trick. I need to make at least 4 of these. So here I go again. Bottom to top, twist it around, make sure the fold's at the top, and bring the left side over, match it up with the bottom, and then bring the right side over and match it up with the bottom. And guess what? 2 more times because I need 4. Whoops, it looks like I forgot to make one. Don't worry, I'll go back and make another one in a second. Okay, so now I'm gonna work on the kite fold. Now the kite fold's a little different. It's the second row here, and I'm gonna start with my paper as a rhombus and fold the left side over to the right side. There we go. Fold it nice and flat, and then open that back up, because this time we have to make a fold and open it. That's called making a crease. There we go. Now I'm gonna take this top right angle and line it up with that middle crease that I just made, just like that. Line it up nice and even, Steven. It's just the paper should still be pointy at the top. If it gets kind of flat, move your paper over. You're in control here. There you go. Then once that's folded nice and flat, I'm going to repeat the same thing on the left side. Fold it in. The papers should not overlap. They should just meet right in the center, just like that. And guess what? Repeat these same directions 3 more times. We want 4 in the end again. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the last one at the bottom. It takes up 2 rows and it's called the samurai fold. Okay, so for the samurai fold, again, I'm going to start by bringing the top right corner down to the bottom left corner. Press that down. Super duper. Then open that up and repeat the opposite way. So now the top left to the bottom right. And then I'll open that up and I'll see that those 2 creases that I just made form an X across the center of my paper. Perfect. Now I'm going to bring the top down to the bottom, or the bottom to the top. It doesn't matter right now. Okay, fold that nice flat and make sure that that fold that you just made is at the top whenever you put it on your desk. So when you put this back down, you're going to make sure it's at the top. Now, here is the trickiest part. I'm half opening my paper on the right side, and then I'm squishing in the top edge. So here I'll show you on this side again. So I'm kind of like half opening the paper, pushing that down, and then squishing in just like that to make a triangle shape that has these little openings on the left and on the right. Now I'm going to take just the top layer, pull it over and down, so it looks just like that. That reminds me of folding a snowflake. You kind of use a similar fold when you make a snowflake. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing on the left side here. And that's it. Samurai fold is all done. This is the most difficult out of all of them, but I promise if you practice, even if you make a mistake and have to restart, that's fine. Restart 17 times until you get it. I promise you will get it. And then once you do, it's easy sailing after that. And then I'm going to make a bunch more. Okay, next part. We're going to put these shapes that we just folded aside for just a second and grab a much larger sheet of paper that is also a square. We want this to be about 3 or 4 times larger than the little papers we were using to make our small origami folds. So my paper here is 12 inches across every single side. So my paper is 12 by 12 and my little guys were 3 by 3. So mine is 4 times larger. So once you have your big piece of paper in a different color, you're going to start by folding it from the bottom left corner up to the top right corner. Just like that. Perfect. Fold that flat and then open that up. We just want to crease again. Now, bottom right to top left. Super duper. Fold that and then open it also because again, we just want to crease. Now, I'm going to bring the bottom to the top. Fold that flat. Super. Open. And then left to right. Perfect. Now these folds that are on this paper are just there to help guide us in putting together our design. So we're not really using those folds to do anything special. I'm not making any more origami pieces. I'm just using these folds to help me make my radial symmetry. All right, so let's see what happens next. Okay, so now I'm going to grab some of my papers and I'm going to use my creases on my black paper to help me keep my little origami folds straight. So look at what I'm doing here. I am repeating my design by creating radial symmetry. So I found that I can draw a line across and the bottom matches the top right now. Perfect. Okay, so if I put one of these pink kites, ooh, look how cool that fits right in there. Excellent. And make sure that the pointed end of the kite is resting right on the folded line. That's great. I can draw a line now and divide this in half and it's the same on both sides. That's super. So let's see where maybe a hat fold might fit. Where could I put a hat fold that would help me continue to create my radial symmetry? So this next part here is all about play. You are playing with these shapes, trying to see where the colors look good together, where the shapes look good together, and making sure that you're constantly using radial symmetry. And if you're like me, you're going to find out you'll need to fold extra papers. So although we started with 4 of every color, there's a very good chance you're going to find that you need some extra ones. I know that I am, because I accidentally only made 3 of each color in the beginning. So I definitely have to make some additional ones. Let me work on that, and then I'll come back to my design. And as you're working, just keep placing them on your black paper, making sure that you keep in mind radial symmetry as you do, and that you can change your design as many times as you want. As a matter of fact, that's what happened to me. As I was working, I decided I did not like that design that I was creating, so I decided to take them all off my black paper and start again. So here is my next option for my radial design, and I think I'm really liking this one. Okay, I think I have finally set on a design. So now that I'm all done with my origami folds and coming up with my fun radial design, I'm ready to start gluing this down. I'm going to be using a glue stick, and I'm going to make sure that I keep track of those creases that are on the black paper so that I keep my origami shapes where I need them to be to form a perfect radial design. Okay, so I'm going to do one shape at a time, grab a glue stick, and start gluing. I know it always seems like I'm moving so fast, but gluing took a really long time. It took me a good 10 minutes at least to finish up the gluing and make sure that all of my pieces were glued on the way I wanted them to be before I was all done. I am so glad I stuck with this. There were some parts that were really hard. Some of those folds and the origami folds are really tricky. The gluing took forever, but I am so glad I stuck with it because aren't these amazing? I love the 3D aspect of all of the different origami folds. I love radial symmetry. I love how the colors seem to explode from the center of your works of art. And I really, really, really hope you have a great time with this too, because one of the other parts that's my favorite is coming up with a title. So these pieces of artwork are so colorful and fun that they tend to lend to some really awesome titles to go along with it. So when you upload to Artsonia, make sure you add a title that explains what's happening on yours. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great time making your radial designs, and I'll see you back here next time at the Heart of a Viking. HOB artists, don't forget to hop on over to Artsonia to upload a photograph of your piece of artwork to your art portfolio. I can't wait to see it.